Hey guys, today I want to make a quick video on how to build a useful application for your own business. So, not yet as a SaaS model or as a more complicated application for us to vibe code together like a game, but let's just put a real life scenario, just like an application where anyone out there could just build and then use for their own day-to-day operations of their business. So my idea is something that I could actually use for one of the businesses that I own or one of the businesses that I owned in the past, which is just a more customizable, robust CRM, right? And when I say customizable, more robust, I don't mean more than Salesforce. I mean a little bit more than the basic free HubSpot CRM, but not as complex as Salesforce because I won't need all of that. So let's say if it's either for a home service business or a digital marketing service, all of these companies, you're going to need a few basic things, which is be able to collect leads from a source, either from your own website or your own marketing efforts or social media or whatnot. And the second one is to process these leads, right? To be able to uh, translate these leads into closed business and revenue. With that being said, the CRM doesn't have to be super complex, right? You just need a specific set of features that it's going to fit exactly your business. And I truly believe that that's how the future is going to go. I think the future of SaaS is very iffy right now because people will just build what they actually need at that moment for their business or for their personal life. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and let's build a CRM. So what I like to do to get started is I always like to get started with a deep search on Grok, and then we do a think session on Grok as well, if needed. And then from there, we will obtain our the initial command, and then a knowledge base that we're going to feed, and we're going to use Lovable. So I always like to get started by creating a deep search on Grok, and then if needed, I do a think session on Grok as well. And then from those two things, I'll be able to create the initial command and then a knowledge base that we're going to use for the remaining of the development of this application. And for this particular project, we're going to be using lovable.dev. Okay, so here we have Grok, and right in the background, we have Lovable. So let's go and start with Grok. Now, most likely you probably would not need to do a deep search, then a think. I'm probably overreacting here, but just for the example of this, I'm going to do it anyways, okay? So you start with the deep search, and on this deep search, I'm asking Grok, I need a CRM for my local landscaping business. I want to build it by vibe coding using commands and lovable.dev. I need you to research for me a set of tools that are effective and actually needed for a local landscaping company to succeed and to thrive in 2025. Take the tools ideas from the biggest name CRMs out there for my industry or my segment, but only apply the ones that you deem necessary for success. And we let Grok do its deep search and we wait for a little bit. Okay, so here we have it. Grok is done with the deep search. Let's see what Grok has produced for us. So Grok has the basic outline of the landscaping CRM feature blueprint for a lovable.dev project. The essential features that Grok is suggesting that we have. So a customer management, a job management, a financial management, scheduling and routing, communication, mobility, resources management, reporting and analytics, automation, online booking, scalability. So it's actually way more than I expected, and it's way more than I asked for. And to your surprise, we're going to be able to build all of these things, and they are all going to be working correctly. So what we do now is that we have all this information. Okay, I will see, and you can see how it really compared to some of the big names out there, and it's really going to take the features from those places that we would have needed and really put it into our own custom CRM that you really only have to pay once, if anything. and it's yours. You're not tied to a CRM that belongs to anybody. So what I do after I get this information from Grok, I will type another command, which I already typed just for time's sakes, and I'm going to show you guys. In this one, I'm saying, now I need to take all of this knowledge that you presented to me, and I want you to create an initial detail command along with a complete knowledge base for this project so I can give it to Lovable. Remember, Lovable is an AI agent, so you can skip the milestones and the tech stack talk. I find that if I say that towards the end, it just works better and it saves me a bunch of time having to correct Grok, you know, until I get the right information. Okay, so now you're going to hit the think button and we're going to let Grok work for a little bit longer. Okay, so it looks like Grok is done with the second part of this, which is the think part. And it looks like Lovable, the initial command is here. Let's just review, make sure that everything is actually included here. The financial, okay, the mobility, okay, great. And also the knowledge base as well. And we have the user roles, we have the feature details. Okay, great. Additional details to consideration, business goals. All right. So what we're going to start is we're going to start obviously with the initial command. So what you're going to do now is you're going to copy this. And now we're going to go into our Lovable projects. And I'm going to paste this into Lovable. However, I'm going to do a little fixing on the formatting of this. It's never going to be 100%. You probably don't need this. This is just my OCD. I have to make sure that it looks good. Okay, it's a lot of space still. Okay. All right. So the other thing that you can do is if you have a CRM out there that you already use, that you like, that have a nice layout, that it looks familiar to you, this is a good time to actually take a screenshot of that CRM and then to come here at Lovable and then attach that as a picture and also describe here saying that I want the layout, look and feel of my CRM to look like the attached image. So I suggest you guys to do that. However, I don't have anything in mind. What I do want to do from the beginning, which this is a new feature that Lovable just added, and it's a great feature, is to be able to attach a database right from the initial command. What that's going to do is it's going to give your project the path in the right direction from the very beginning. Okay, for this demo, I chose a database that I already had in my Supabase account, and we already have our initial command. So now we're going to hit start and let Lovable do its thing. And in the meantime, we're going to go back to Grok and we're going to copy now that knowledge base. Okay, so looks like Lovable's firing up, and Lovable's going to take its time to make sure that the initial features of our CRM, it's all implemented, and then we can go and worry about layout and colors and adding logos and things like that, which at that point, if you guys want to write your own commands, you can do that. Or if you guys want to take a look on my my commandvault.ai account, it's commandvault.ai/Geronco. I'll post some of my commands there as well that you guys can copy, you know, to modify the look and feel of your own apps as well. Okay, and while Lovable it's doing its thing, you still don't have to wait. You just come down here, you click this little plus sign, and then you go into your project settings. When you get to your project settings right here under knowledge, you can just paste whatever you just got it from Grok. You can remove some of the spaces if you wish to do so, or you can reformat better in a Word document and then paste it here. And then you can just hit save. So now Lovable knows the knowledge that the way that you want the project to go and the features that you want the project to have, and exactly which way you want your CRM to work. So let's give Lovable a little bit of time to create the initial sketch for us and then see how it goes from there. All right, guys. So Lovable created our initial sketch, so to speak, and the reason why I'm calling it sketch, it's because it's a non-workable model, more or less. You will do basic things, but most of the things don't really work. So it's a sketch, right? I pre-wrote this while I had it paused, just for speed's sake. Um, I'm letting Lovable know that I like the layout, so Lovable gets an affirmation that it should continue using these colors in this initial layout to propose to me. So I'm saying, love the layout so far. Let's plan out the completion of some of the core features of our application. First, create an auth page, or an authorization page, so I can log in, and I can also allow my staffs and other roles to log in as well. And I'm putting it as chat. I'm not going to give this as a command just yet. I'm going to leave it as chat. The other thing that I recommend you guys do, if you have not done it yet, is to come here to Lovable and actually enable agent mode. Agent mode is in beta during the recording of this video, so I don't know when you're watching this, but when I'm recording this video, agent mode is in beta. Highly recommend you leave that on. Okay, so with this being said, let's hit enter, and let's see what Lovable is going to do. Now, the chat feature in Lovable is something that I really like. Yes, you're still spending calls, you're still spending credits, but you are saving so much time because you are consulting with the AI first, and you're bouncing off ideas prior to actually executing any sort of code changes within your application. And what that's going to do is it's going to save a lot of back and forth, right? So you can explain to Lovable exactly what you need prior in maybe 2 or 3 different conversation interactions, and then Lovable is going to get exactly what it understands that you need, and then give you an execution plan that you just have to hit a button and let it go. So that's what it's doing right now. So it's talking to us back, and it's telling us that you can see that the landscape CRM application with the comprehensive dashboard, and you notice that we already have a Supabase integration, which we did in the beginning of this video, with some user roles and profiles tables already set up. Now it's saying that because I most likely used the same database that I already had for another demo project that I made, and that's why it's saying that. For you guys, it might say something might be a little bit different, but at the end of the day, it's gonna pretty much do the same thing. And it's going to give you then a plan of what it's suggesting to do in terms of creating these roles. So it's going to create all this into the database, right? It's going to create the admin role, the manager, the field staff, and then the office staff, which it all aligns for a local landscaping business. I don't necessarily have a local landscaping business. We're using it as an example. The authentication page then will create the page, the /auth page, where it's going to have the login form and the sign up form, along with other basic functionalities like a password reset functionality. And then it's going to redirect the user to its own respective dashboard based on the role that user holds within the company. So everything looks pretty good to me. The dashboard modifications that it's suggesting, and the staff management interface, mobile consideration. Go ahead and implement this plan, and that's what Lovable is going to do now. Okay. I took a quick look. I probably should have looked better, but you don't have to, especially if you don't have knowledge about databases or anything like that. That's what vibe coding is all about. It's trusting the machine. It's trusting the system, right? The other thing you guys are going to notice is when you have the agent mode on, it's a lot faster. There's a lot more horsepower behind the scenes working. So you're going to be able to achieve these things a lot faster, where Lovable will take a little bit extra time if you're just using the regular chat. Okay, so Lovable came back with a little bit more. So it looks like now we have a header. There's still no footer in our application, and a lot of these things, or all of them, they still don't work, but it's a great start. Okay, we're making progress. So one thing that I also want to start by telling Lovable, and this is something that I like to do from the very beginning, is to actually create an actual global header and a global footer system where every page is going to have exactly the same header, the same menus, and all that, and then exactly the same footer. And I usually like to do that for a global header for public pages, so pages before people have to log in. And the same thing, a public footer for public pages before people have to log in. And then I create a global header for logged in users and a global footer for logged in users. You don't have to do all that. You can create one global for everything and then just have the menu switch options and things between logged in and logged out users. That's another way you can do that as well. I just prefer to do it the way I do it. I think it's a little bit better for me. So let's actually talk to Lovable again. And this time I'm going to tell Lovable, let's take the current page and make it as our slash dashboard page, which is the first page. All logged in users will be redirected to. And let's make the slash auth page to be the actual main next page for all non-logged in users. Let's do that first and I will explain to you guys why, but we got to make a division and start worrying about internal pages before we can actually worry about headers and footers. So let's do that first. Let's create that structure within our application first, and then we'll worry about creating the inner pages and all that. Okay, Lovable's back. And now it looks like any page I try to access, I'm going to get the auth page because now I have to be logged in. Okay, so from Lovable, you click on the screen icon for Supabase, and you're going to click on Manage Users. You're going to go to Supabase, and you're going to click on Create New User if you already don't have a user. And then you're going to put your email and a password. And you're going to make sure that you have auto confirm user checked. Okay. And then you create that user. Once you create that user, what I want you to do is I want you to come to Lovable and I want you to say, I just created a new user with email. And then you're going to put admin at whatever your email is. In this case, I'm going to just I'm just going to put a dummy email that doesn't exist. And you're going to say, please make this user an admin user for me. Put it for me. Otherwise, it's going to give you instructions on how to go to Supabase and do it yourself. So just to make things a lot easier, just ask to do it for you. I'm not going to do it because I have already done it with these two users, but that's what you're going to do in your end at this stage in the process. And right after you create that user and you tell Lovable to make that user as an admin user, you can go right here in your preview window and let's try to log in with that same user that we just created and that we just told Lovable to make that user an admin user. Okay, so we hit login. Let's see if it works. Okay, it works. It took us to the dashboard. It also created for us the option to log out now. Okay, and now we can actually focus on creating the inner pages, which none of them work. And we're going to focus on one of them at a time. All right, let's give Lovable the next command here. So what I'm going to focus on next is the biggest core that is going to power everything else, right? Which is the leads when the leads first come in, and then what happens to those leads until they become an actual customer. So what I'm going to tell Lovable is, as you guys can tell, my command is a little bit lengthy, but I like to take my time to give a proper command, and that's how I usually end up with the results that I end up with. I have created by vibe coding software for all the businesses that I own, that I'm invested in, that I'm involved with. And so I really take my time and I make sure that things actually work properly. And this is just a chat for now, so I'm going to send this to Lovable, and Lovable is going to cross-reference with the knowledge base that we uploaded earlier, and it's going to take in consideration everything that I'm asking to do here, and we'll see what Lovable is going to come up with. Okay, these are the results that Lovable came back with, and Lovable suggesting that we do some database schema design, and then some lead management features that it's suggesting, the creation of the lead qualification, the status tracking, logging, pretty much on point with what we have on the knowledge base. So it's definitely following instructions. Okay, I already reviewed it. Everything looks fine to me. I'm going to tell the system to go ahead and implement the plan. And now we'll wait a little bit more so Lovable can do its thing. Okay, Lovable is giving us some changes that it needs to do in the database. And after reviewing some of those changes, I'm going to click on Apply Changes and let Lovable do its thing again. Okay, Lovable is done. And it looks like it added, it modified the menu a little bit. Now we have a leads button. So it looks like we have two of the most important features, in my opinion, which is the lead feature and the customers feature. It's what drives the whole business, right? So let's go and click into leads. So here, as we can see, we have a basic page that's going to show a list of all the leads that we have. And right now, the only way to add these leads will be to literally click Add New Lead. So the system created for us a list that we can see of all the leads, and then a way to create new lead. On part 2 of this video, I'm going to show you guys how to actually create the forms that we're going to be installing on other websites outside of here, in the public links and all that, to actually make these forms. It looks like the system also created the list for customers and the option to create a new customer at any time. There you go, guys. So there you have it. How to create a CRM part 1 from beginning to end, all the way from research to think to the actual creation. I want to stop this video here. I think this is a good place for us to stop. Not stop as we're not doing this anymore. I'm going to turn this into a project. If you go to my website, geronco.com, and you go under projects, you're going to see a project named Local Landscape CRM project, okay? And on that project, we're going to do part 1, part 2, as many parts as possible to complete this project and to show you guys, if you actually take the time to do this in a full day, how you can, possibly finish this in a few days, okay? So on this video, we accomplished the initial research, the initial think. We created the initial command, and we created the knowledge base. Then we went to Lovable. Lovable then created the initial sketch for us. It created the initial structure of our application, the auth system with separations of roles and a dashboard. And we were able to work with Lovable to also get a leads system and page done in place, giving us the ability to create new leads as well as a dedicated page for customers only, also giving us the ability to create customers as well. So I think this is a great point for us to stop this episode, and we can start episode 2 of how to build a CRM for my local business. Until the next video, guys, keep on vibe coding.